Hi, it's Rachel with Stirring the Deep. So I've been talking about this, our birth, and we're going through that opening in our mind. It's like you start seeing the light, and because you start seeing the present moment where it was almost non-existent because oops, it's gone, up it's gone, up it's gone. It's like it just goes by so quickly. But as you start entering into that mind of Christ, what happens is that starts expanding, okay? And that's when you start coming into the air out of the womb, and you start coming into the air, and that's the spirit. The spirit that's the air symbolic of that spirit, okay? So you're where we've been breathing and existing in that water, a whole different element. It's like you have to learn to breathe and take in the spirit. Okay, that's why you have to be prepared and taught by the Holy Spirit. I mean, it's very significant to be able to understand and grasp these truths. Okay, so if you're not understanding a lot of what I'm saying, don't be frustrated. Don't dismiss it. Okay, because even I'm talking about, pure consciousness, the consciousness of man, and sometimes people in religion, they get scared of these words because they feel like they're portraying, you know, false beliefs and false philosophies. But what I'm doing, I'm trying to speak in all these different ways to strip your mind of the images that have been crafted by religion. Okay, and get down to the bare truth, because that is what we're seeking, because that is who God is. He is spirit. So sometimes when you have all these flesh images of your mind, that keeps you stuck in a place where you can no longer learn. And to be taught by God, to have a teachable heart, you can't be bound by images of the flesh, because the carnal man can't understand, that carnal flesh mind can't understand the things of the spirit. So you can't be stuck to those images, okay? So you have to start breaking them away, and that's why I'm using these different terms, trying to strip those images away so we can get to the truth, all right? So back to what I was saying, I kind of forgot where I was going, but what I wanted to make a point of in this video is that as you start seeing from within the presence of God, so He starts filling you, and what you see in your reality, what you see is love. What you see is peace. And when there is love, that creates peace, that creates harmony, that creates unity, right? Anger, bitterness, jealousies, coveting, envy, all that creates division. Okay, but love and truly loving and honor and mercy and justice and all that creates is peace and harmony. So as those people are being brought into the mind of Christ, you're gaining that mind of Christ, which you're becoming that present mind as you're entering into the presence of God. So He is establishing your current reality. You're no longer doing that. So you're letting go of all the images, you're not in your will, and you're not striving for any of that. You're at rest. You're letting Him create your present moments. You're letting Him direct every step, every thought. And to do that, you have to fully trust Him, which means you have to abide and really trust in His love for you so that you can let go and trust Him to do that. But as you start walking on this, you learn that you can fully trust Him, so you let go. And so you start seeing in love, and remember, love always has that honor. So not only do you see yourself in love, but you also see others in love. Because remember, how we see others is a reflection of how we see ourselves. And how we see ourselves is ultimately how we are seeing ourselves in relation to God. So when we understand that love of the Father that He has for us, we understand that love, then we have a love toward ourselves because He loves us. But it's a pure love. It's not, one full of selfish ambition or corruption. Okay, so don't be confused about what that means. But so now when you start having that love within you, that's how you start seeing other people. But you're seeing other people with love and truth. Okay, and that means understanding of what the plan of salvation is, understanding the mercy of God, understanding how that we've all fallen, that we've all been a part of death, that it's God coming in His mercy and redeeming us all. So you understand that people are your brothers and sisters. They're just lost. They have leprosy. They have sin, and they don't understand it. And they become so numb to it that they keep harming themselves and other people, and even you sometimes, because they don't understand it. It's their own pain. They keep reacting because that's that flesh mind. The flesh mind, remember, it's always acting in the past. And it's based on lies, because the moment you're born into this world, which is this whole world of lies. And so from the moment they're born, it's in lies. So they're always reacting to past pains. That's what the flesh mind does. And that's creating their present. And so it's full of pain. So how they act towards you is in pain. But once you start understanding this, okay, because you're understanding what's happening in terms of mass consciousness, pure consciousness, the wisdom of God, the wisdom of this world, the contrast of the two, then you can start understanding and seeing the essence of people. You're seeing with the Creator's eye. And that He loves His creation. It's the wickedness He's hate. He's against the lies. And that's what He's coming to destroy and to purge. But if you're holding on to those lies, and that's such a strong part of you, you're feeling that. But it's to free you. It's to free mankind from those lies, to bring them into peace, into His consciousness of purity, of love, like into His mind, into His wisdom. Okay, that is the plan. And so when you start moving into that opening, and so you're starting to see more clearly, because that's what that mind of Christ gives you. It gives you a whole different perspective, and you're always coming in this perspective of love. So as you start to see people in love, they see that love in you. And you see this dynamic. I mean, it's been shown throughout our world, the expectations we have of others, how greatly that affects them. And how we see others and how we treat others, how greatly that affects them. Okay? And it's not an instant overnight thing. Sometimes it is for people. Like when you really give them that love, it's amazing what that does to a soul. And when that's coming, now you're giving them the pure love of God, because that mind of Christ is being formed in you. And so what you're giving to people and how you're seeing them, and that spirit that you're giving them, is a pure love and truth. And that has not been done before. That is that living waters flowing out. That is that river that's flowing, right? That's bringing these trees of healing, which are people. It's like that living waters, that spirit that's flowing, that's of God, that's full of love and truth. And it's in that present moment. So when you start to enter into that, it starts to flood into people's lives and to change them. Love is so powerful. And we have seen where love, when it's given in that purity, even in corruption, how it's changed lives. How much more when it's pure. Okay? And that's where it says, if death spread through one man, how much more life? Because the life is that pure love. And so that is how that light is going to spread, because as these vessels, because what we're saying, when your mind starts transforming like this and God starts creating your present reality, not only will you be a banner, okay, and I'm going to read this from Zechariah 9:16. It says, the Lord their God will save them in that day as the flock of His people, for they shall be like the jewels of a crown, lifted like a banner over His land. Verse 17, for how great is its goodness and how great its beauty. Grain shall make the young men thrive, and new wine the young women. Okay? When you start moving into this present mind, okay, which I'm starting to like, it's like I'm looking through that hole, I'm starting to like step through that and experience it, and it's like, it is amazing. You are moving into existing in the very presence of God. That's the Holy of Holies. That's going through the torn veil into the Holy of Holies. And that's why you start seeing love. And that's why that's so powerful. And that's how it's going to see. But that's what you start becoming. So your present keeps expanding because you start dwelling in it more. The more you dwell in the present moment, the more it expands, okay? And you're going to be shining. It's that glory of Christ just shining in you, all the characteristics of the Father. His love, His honor, all those things are going to be shining in your life. You're like a jewel in His crown. You're like a banner that's set saying, okay, Christ is here. Because that is such a contrast to what's happening in the outside world. Because right now there's that separation that's happening, right? Because as that kingdom comes, those that are moving into the kingdom, they're experiencing rest and power and love and all these things because God is creating that in the world. They're letting God create their present. So that's what He's creating because He creates life. And outside is the darkness and the people that are still operating by the flesh mind. And so there's that wall of fire. Remember, it talks about that in Zechariah 2, around Jerusalem. Because to come into that, into the Garden of Eden, remember, it's that flaming fire that guarded the gate. You have to come through the purification of the truth, which is the fire. But when you do, you start moving in, and so those people it's just going to be beautiful. What they're going to be shining as they grow into and letting God establish that present moment. It's going to be so powerful. So you're going to be seeing this contrast raising up in the world where you have these people that are transforming because of their mind. They're moving into this present that God the Creator is now establishing in beauty and goodness. They're going to be jewels shining like the sun. It says your righteousness will shine like the sun. You're going to be glistening. It's going to be incredible. And that is going to be a witness and testimony to God's presence and to what He's doing and to His truth and to His love. And again, as those people start carrying that, and that's what they're giving to people around them because they understand God's mercy. So they're loving everyone. They're loving the lost and the widow and the orphan and the fatherless. And they're caring for their soul. They're truly giving them that life, the living waters, because their words they're being spoken by the Spirit of the Father. It says that in Matthew 10:20. It says, for it is not you who speak, but the Spirit of your Father who speaks in you. Those are the words of life. And so when you're in that Spirit and you're speaking those words of life into others' lives, that is powerful. That will be fire that will be burning away the lies and bringing in the truth of who they are, that they are a beautiful, unique creation that is greatly loved. And as they break away from those lies, they're going to be set free. It's like the prison doors are being flung open, and they're going to be able to come free and become who they truly were created to be. And it's going to be Christ coming in them, that spirit of pure love and pure righteousness, and that's what's going to help to have that light spread in this world, is that love that those people are showing for one another. Don't underestimate the power of love. It is so powerful when you receive pure love from another person. It is so powerful. Till next time, keep stirring the deep. It's the one thing that changes everything else.